into it. Well, Grant, tonight we've got two teams who aren't afraid to slow the pace of the game.
Well, B.A., it's because they're both adept at operating their half-court sets. They don't feel the need to push the tempo all the time.
Here are the starters for Utah. Sexton and Markkanen out on the wings. Filipowski out there with Walker Kessler. And it's Collier in at the point. Now here's Ball. And Ball throws it down.
And look at Ball take off. Love seeing him use his athleticism to slam it home.
Here's Collier. To the inside. Well, the Jazz are one of just 10 NBA franchises to never win a championship.
Yeah, you know, it's so hard to believe considering they had the fourth best winning percentage in NBA history. Think about it. If it weren't for one Michael Jordan, they'd probably have 2 rings.
And the first one at the line is good. Grant, the Hornets are a team hoping to end a pretty substantial playoff drought.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they made a buzz in the postseason, but their return could be closer than people think. A few smart moves here or there might be all it takes.
It's both from the stripe. Grant, a big reason for Utah to be excited about the future. Their young head coach, Will Hardy.
Yeah, B.A. I mean, he's had this team competitive after trading away both Mitchell and Gobert. And I love how Hardy has developed guys like Lauri Markkanen.
No one covering.
Easy look when the defender isn't fighting over the screen.
Yeah, it's certainly worth it to disrupt the offense. Coaches notice that extra effort.
Now here's Kessler. He's been a consistent contributor, averaging just over 11 a game. Pass to Sexton. 5 to shoot. Over Smith. And that's good. His first bucket of the game.
Yeah, he makes it look so easy out there. The game comes naturally to him.
Ball finds Green. Down low. Smith inside. Check by Sexton. Green, the pass to Smith. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock.
Tough make by Smith inside. He had to work around their physicality.
Here's Collier. That one falls.
And setting the tempo with an assertive move. Like, where was the defense on that play?
Well, when you are the aggressor this early, it is intimidating.
Now here's Bridges. He's been a big scorer for this offense, averaging around 20 points a game. Williams with the screen. Here's Ball. Second shot opportunity. That shot off the mark. On offense, here's Utah. They trail by 1. They're coming off that loss against Denver.
It's always hard to get a win on the road, especially when you show zero energy on the defensive end.
Yeah, when you have a defensive showing this poor, it's normally due to an overall lack of effort.
A chance here to catch up with Allie from the sideline.
Hey, Brian. Well, a lot of change for this Hornets organization. New ownership, a new front office, a new head coach, some exciting new talent. They're renovating the arena and building a new practice facility. Other than that, not much has changed. B.A.?
Business as usual, Allie. Thanks. He's got his first free throws of the night right here.
Isaiah Collier, 2 shots.
That free throw no good. So both teams making some changes here. That one drops. He ties it up. You know, in game 2 of a back-to-back, just how drained are you from yesterday as a player?
You know, BA, proper rest and stretching can help a lot. But you're not going to be your usual self at the start of game time. Believe that.
Simpson, no good. The Jazz have gone 2 of 3 from the floor. And he's gone for the lob! And finished off by Kessler.
Well, it doesn't take much for Kessler to catch that lob and slam it home.
And here's Bridges. He'll bring it up for Charlotte. Last time they met was in Salt Lake City, where they beat the Jazz.
Yeah, they destroyed this team on the glass in the last meeting. Pounding it inside early and often, setting a physical tone.
The Jazz have gone 3 of 4. Off to a nice start. Pass to Clarkson. Markkanen outside. Let's go with a 3. Count it. 1 for 1 to start the game.
Yeah, from range, Markkanen has such an effortless stroke.
A minute 6 left in the first quarter. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Lauri Markkanen. That's his first foul of the game. Some changes for Charlotte. Nurkic has checked in for Williams. Diabate comes in for Green. And it's Curry in for Smith. And 1:01 left now in the first quarter. Nurkic a screen on Sexton. 6 on the shot clock. The 3 from Curry. Connects from downtown.
You don't want to let him get into a rhythm from out there.
Here's George. His last outing, he had 18 points. Pass to Potter. Clarkson for 3. And the rebound goes to Charlotte. They're moving on after the tough loss at the hands of the Pelicans.
In today's NBA, you have to stretch the floor or you're going to struggle big time.
Yeah, look, it's really hard to win a game being one-dimensional. It can be done, but it doesn't happen very often.
Here's Diabate. Right now averaging 5.5 a game. Shots good by Simpson.
Good heads-up basketball. Season opening and capitalizes.
Bridges against Clarkson. Here's the 3. Cranes the triple.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
And that concludes a high-scoring first quarter. We're all tied up. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in a moment. And some good action in the books as we get back to a game that's been pretty close so far here. Taking a look at the Hornets' performance here, guys. What are your thoughts?
Well, it seems like they went in looking to do damage from long range, and they faced little resistance.
Yeah, and when you're hitting threes early, that opens up the floor and really helps your offense.
We've got ball. And it's Salon in at the small forward. So that's the group out there for Charlotte. Pass to Filipowski. Rebounded by Nurkic. Charlotte has gone 3 of 5 from the perimeter in this game. To the paint. Oh, deflected. George with a steal. Here's Clarkson. Rebounded by Nurkic.
I mean, come on. That's a shot you expect him to make.
The 16th pick in last year's draft, Keontae George was thrown right into the fire his rookie season, Stan.
Yeah, down the stretch, he was basically handed the keys to the offense at the point guard position. He may take some lumps, but his talent level is evident.
Shots good by Sensabaugh. Second quarter of basketball, about a minute played so far. Ball against Clarkson. Here's Simpson. Looking at his stats, he's putting up about 7.5 per game. George, right side. Pass to Clarkson. 6 to shoot. Puts it up from 12. Hits the rim on the way in, and the bucket is good. Clarkson's got 5 points.
Yeah, the mid-range is the sweet spot for Clarkson. He does a lot of damage from there.
Pass to Salah. Ball looks over the floor. And Ball throws it down.
I'll tell you, those finishes are always extra special when they come from your point guard.
Oh, forget about his passing. Can we see more dunking?
Wow, that is an impressive vertical for a point guard. My goodness.
Pass to George. They set the pick from behind the arc. Count it. 1 for 1 to start the game.
And there's a nice rhythm to his three-point shot. You know, George has a confident stroke.
Ball outside. Nurkic, a screen on Clarkson. There's Ball with a 3. Oh, Ball so dangerous from the perimeter.
Well, it's a three-point shooting league. Guys like him are so important for spacing.
And we've got a timeout called by Will Hardy. I think right now he must be looking at some adjustments. And given LaMelo Ball is 6'7", how does this give him an advantage at his position, Greg?
Well, B.A., he's able to score on smaller guards as well as see over them and find his teammates. His height and quick decision-making are real weapons.
On the court is your Pink Squad. It's time for T-shirts.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Only 5 games left to go, and then it's playoff time. Let's check in on the East. You look at Charlotte, their season's basically over, barring some sort of miracle. Right wing. Here's Collier. And that one goes in as he's fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts the free throw.
First personal foul.
And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Jazz.
Well, their game plan has been very effective so far. They're working the ball inside, putting constant pressure on the defense.
And on top of that, they've been dialed in from deep. And if they keep it up, it could be a big night for them.
And that one misses. All right, Coach, what are some qualities you're looking for in a lead guard?
Well, look, you want a guy that can make plays, that can control the game. When I first got into the league, people thought about point guards as traditional pass-first guys. But now it means more than that. You want a guy who can make plays, whether it's for himself or for his teammates.
Offensive board. Kessler with a bucket. And it's a 6-point Utah lead.
They just look so overwhelmed inside. You know, that's why they continue to get attacked.
And so it's Ball with it. He brings it up for Charlotte. Outside, Green. Floats one up. And he was fouled while in the act of shooting, so he'll take 2 free throws.
First personal foul.
Ball seeks out contact sometimes, which means defenses have to guard him very carefully.
Charlotte shooting their first free throws of this game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Ball.
You gotta respect the enthusiasm LaMelo Ball brings to his game. He thrives out here under the bright lights with all eyes on him.
Filipowski, he's checked in for Utah. And so Ball nails both of them. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Outside Sexton. Here's Markkanen. Just bullies his way in. Lauri Markkanen.
And their offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. He wants a few moments to regroup with his players. Well, Coach Lauri Markkanen, it's been an interesting study to watch his game continue to improve every year.
Yeah, it certainly has, Brian. You know, he was a complimentary player for quite a while, and then finally has developed into a primary offensive threat, and he has thrived.
Diabate's checked in for Charlotte. Now we get a chance to check some stats for Walker Kessler.
And I think the grind of the season has caught up to him a little. You can see it in his rebounding numbers. Over the past 5 games, they've taken a dive. He appears to be wearing down. Maybe he can get his legs back under him today.
A minute 6 left in the first half. Bridges finds Williams. Back to Bridges. Green, a screen. Just 5 on the clock. Good on the 13-footer. Bridges has gotten his 3rd basket of the night.
And off the jump, they were effective from deep. I don't know why they haven't continued to fire from out there.
There's 39 seconds left to play in the first half. Curry, he's checked in for Diabate.
Second team foul. Substitution for your Hornets. Number 30, Seth Curry.
.35 seconds left in the first half of this game. Markkanen with a screen on Curry. Here's Collier. And he banks in the layup. Collier's got 7 points.
Easy look when the defender isn't fighting over the screen.
Yeah, it's certainly worth it to disrupt the offense. Coaches notice that extra effort.
Back to Bridges. For 3, Smith. Sinks it from distance. 5 points in the game.
A dead-eye shooter, Nick Smith, is great from three-point land. That might be his biggest asset to this team.
Here's Collier. And that's not going to go. And the first half comes to an end. We've got a close game going here. Jazz out in front, leading by 3. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports.
And it's time for your fan half-court shot. Please direct your attention Attention to center court. Drum roll, please. And measuring up the shot. Give it up for the participant.
Hey folks, first off, let's take a look at the overall NBA schedule on tap for tonight. It'll be the Sacramento Kings up against the Pacers in Indianapolis. It's going to tip off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
This is going to be either a lopsided game or a terrific upset.
Let's shift focus back to the Utah Jazz, who find little separation after one half of play.
I love the depth of this team, man. Their subs have been huge tonight, giving them a scoring punch that they've needed most.
And credit their coach for a rather liberal substitution pattern. He mixed and matched beautifully in that first half. That does it for halftime. Let's get back to game action. Here's Brian Anderson with the start of the third quarter.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been a fairly even one. LaMelo Ball with a strong contribution so far in this one.
I like how they control the tempo and play to his strengths.
Yeah, he's found his spots, been patient with his shot selection, and it's paid off for himself and the team.
Jazz leading by 3. Kicking off the second half. Here's Will Hardy's 5. Sexton and Markkanen out on the wings. Walker Kessler out there with Filipowski. And it's Collier in at the 1 spot. Green against Markkanen. Pass to Kessler. Clock at 4. The Jazz need to get one up in a hurry. Misses the 3. Charlotte has gone 5 of 8 from outside the 3-point line in this one. Here's Ball. Outside, Green. Bridges down low. The 3, Smith. And the Hornets, another 3.
This defense just can't stay connected to shooters.
Here's Collier. 7 points in the game. Second half rolling along, about a minute played here. Back to Markkanen. Pass to Sexton. 6 on the shot clock. Plenty of room to knock down that one. Sexton's gotten his second bucket. And the rate of player ejections going up in recent seasons, Stan.
Well, Brian, players these days certainly have a voice in a lot of things, and when it comes to critiquing officials, they're not shy. We see complaints on virtually every call in games now, and the referees seem to have had enough of it.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
LaMelo Ball is such an instinctive playmaker. Talking about his approach, he said, "I'm just making it up. I see someone, I throw it, whatever comes to mind." Brian, the way he sees the game makes him box office attraction.
I like it. It's that new school flair with a game that harkens back to some of the greats. He's special to watch, Allie.
Yeah, terrific work from the mid-range. Ball has an impressive feel when to take these shots.
Here's Collier. Taking a look at his production, averaging just over 8 points a game. And Mark Williams picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. The Hornets making a switch here. Diabate's checked in.
For your Hornets, number 14, Musa Diabate.
Here's Collier. He's got 7. There's the triple. Hits a 3-pointer. Collier's got 10 points.
The defense takes a chance, leaves him open at the arc, and he capitalizes.
Williams finds Smith. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Three-pointer, Bridges. Utah grabs the miss. Markkanen outside. Outside Sexton. Pass to Filipowski. Here's Collier. And count it. Now 5 for 7.
Keep getting him the ball. He's been a huge part of this offense.
A minute 53 left in the third. Bridges outside. Back to ball. And he'll draw the foul. He'll head to the line for 2. And a chance now to look at the schedule for the Charlotte Hornets. On Wednesday, they'll begin a road trip starting in Indiana, going up against the Pacers. Then on Friday, they'll be matching up against DeMar DeRozan and the Sacramento Kings.
And for their matchup with the Bulls, no question they'll be amped for that one, eager to prove themselves against a tough opponent.
First free throw is good. Yusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Charlotte. And so Ball nails both of them. Third quarter action, and just under 3.5 minutes have passed. And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. And let's take a look at the first-year players who have really brought it on the offensive end. Here are the NBA's leading rookie scorers. Keontae George, number 1.
Every year we see people enter the league and put up points, but he's been in a league of his own.
Second half here, and we're just over 3.5 minutes into it. To the inside. Oh, a nice one-handed slam right there.
Hey, when in doubt, run the defender off the screen.
And you know, with a result like that, we'll see them run it again.
Yeah, defensive breakdown there. Gotta communicate and switch that screen. And defensively, that's just not gonna cut it.
And so George will bring it up for the Utah Jazz. 3-point lead. They've got the Rockets ahead of them next in Houston. That's game 3 of 5 on their current trip away from home. Here's Sensabaugh. Sends it home from 3-point land. Sensabaugh's got his third basket on the night right there. Charlotte has gotten 6 of 10 3-pointers to drop. Bridges outside. Pass to Nurkic. Sexton comes with a double team. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Charlotte needs to get one up in a hurry. Simpson tried to come right back with a 3 of his own, but it's no good. Sexton looking around. Clarkson outside. From 9 feet out, and it's Utah scoring again.
Hey, that right there was a lot of confidence given the size of the disadvantage there.
Yeah, a skilled player can work around the mismatch. He's used to dealing with larger guys.
And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Utah ahead, they're up by 8. And we'll have the start of the 4th quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
You know, I'm kind of stoked that this was a choice because I love this pass. A remarkable find. He put his court vision on full display.
Yeah, he puts that pass right on the money and made things look easy for his team.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this 4th quarter. They've got Yusuf Nurkic, and it's Ball in at the 2 spot. That's the Hornets 5. Fires the 3. Rebounded by Shibwe. Utah leading by 8. Clarkson outside. For 3, George sinks the tray. And growing up in California, Stan, when did you first fall in love with the game of basketball?
Well, Brian, my dad coached for a long time, and I just remember going to his practices and going to his games. I can't remember a time where I didn't love the game.
The muscle coming into play. I like how Nurkic takes on these challenges and finds ways to deliver.
The Jazz making a switch here. Martin's checked in.
At the line for your Hornets, Yusuf Nurkic. 1 shot.
Yeah, someone who has battled injuries. Great to see Yusuf Nurkic out there tonight.
Utah leading by 8. Now George. Here's Sensabaugh, and he lobs it up.
Woo! I just love that alley-oop slam, B.A.
Defense disorganized, defense pays. We played just over a minute here in the 4th. Here's Ball. Rebounded by the Jazz. Here's Sensabaugh. Down low. Here's Potter. That shot off. Nurkic with some nice D. Here's Simpson. It's rebounded by George. The Jazz have gone 2 of 3 to open the 4th quarter. Pass to Sensabaugh. The 3. No luck on that one. Hornets trail by 10. And the foul is called. He missed it, so he's got a couple of free throws coming his way. That one's on Clarkson.
The officials were right on top of that one.
At the line for 2, Simpson.
First one falls for him. A line change here for Utah. He does not get the second one. Well, Stan, you've coached some lockdown defenses. With the way the game is officiated these days, is it getting too hard to defend?
Well, it's certainly frustrating. You've heard defenders saying everything is a foul. We might need to redefine incidental contact.
Markkanen. Kessler down low. Working on Williams. Kessler, no good. Hornets trail by 9. Here's Bridges. And it's Bridges with the jam.
Well, if you came here looking for a scoring battle, I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, and how great have these offenses been for these teams tonight? Just fantastic execution.
And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. No doubt he's going to utilize the opportunity to make sure they're all on the same page here.
Dance Cam! Get ready, everyone! You see yourself on the screen, and you show us your best moves. Let's go! Shake it! You have the camera on you! You gotta dance like everyone's watching!
The Hornets making a switch here. Smith's checked in and keeping us updated from the sideline. Allie LaForce.
I was able to listen in on what Will Hardy was going over with his team. He told them, no time to celebrate. The work is not finished. We got to stick with it and keep growing what we've got here. Words of wisdom for his squad. Back to you.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Allie. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Pass to Collier. Takes a three. Drills it from deep.
A team player through and through. Get open, and Sexton will send the ball your way.
Now here's Ball. From outside the arc. Oh, what an answer from Ball.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
And sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Here's Markkanen. The rebound by Bridges. And here's Bridges. He'll bring it up for Charlotte. 7-point differential. Here's Smith. The shot off that time. For Utah, they've gotten just 3 of 9 shots to go in. Struggling this fourth quarter. And Ball's over to help. Markkanen outside. Fires for 3. The Hornets pull it in. Outside, Green. Pass to Ball. Smith outside. Over Sexton. A nice shot by Smith. Now just a 5-point Jazz lead.
Oh, so crafty. I mean, Smith just knows where to get his shots.
Kessler, a screen on Green. Markkanen against Green. Markkanen, pass to Sexton. The 3 is up. The Jazz again can't hit.
I know he's on a cold streak, but he can't let that get in his head.
Yeah, they might want to draw something up here to get him something at the rim or get him to the free throw line. Sometimes that's all it takes to snap a cold streak.
Oh, whoa, that is as clutch as it gets. Big time play.
Yeah, don't you just love to see a player embrace that kind of pressure?
Outside Sexton from downtown. Oh, the trifecta!
Well, I think Sexton enjoys taking over in the big moments. He wants to be that guy for his team.
And we've got a timeout called by Charles Lee. He wants to make sure they're purposeful with the game plan.
Which latest section wants a T-shirt?
26 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter.
Those are precisely the looks this team is trying to create.
Yeah, quality offense will serve you well in the long run. You can't settle for bad shots.
And he commits the intentional foul.
LaMelo Ball. First personal foul, second team foul. Shooting for the Jazz.
He drops the first one, and that increases the lead to 6. And he hits both free throws here, and it's a 7-point game.
Taking care of business at the line, and he adds some cushion to their lead.
Time called here. The Hornets decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 7. All right, guys, what's your take?
They just haven't put it all together tonight.
But they're not going down without a fight. They'll keep game planning and playing until the final whistle.
So we see the Jazz get the win here.